So when you're playing a duet with a piano player, when you're on the flute, you only really need to know a few notes just to get started and to begin moving around the scale. What we were just playing is in the key of G major, so the flute and the piano are in the same key, so I can talk to the piano player using the same notes. When I say I'm going to play G or B, then the piano player is playing the exact same notes. In terms of the range and where you play, this is a great duet because the flute is kind of a soft instrument, and when you're beginning, playing in the lower part of the instrument is going to be a little easier to play, and the piano leaves you lots of space. What are some of the things that you think about when you're playing with flute?
Well, when you ask me to play piano behind the flute, I think that first of all, you're playing a wind instrument, so I feel like I should be I think about playing a little bit like how you're playing, so I make sure that I'm sitting with good posture and that I'm breathing as well, and just even if I'm playing one note, I breathe out when I play it so that I can relate a little bit to how you're feeling. And then when I hear you come to the end of your breath, do 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 do, then I might start moving a little bit so that you've moved and I've moved, and it sounds like I'm responding to you as if we're having a conversation. Those are a couple of things I'm thinking about: the breath and listening to each other as if we're talking in music.
Yeah. Now, if somebody was watching this and they were feeling a little afraid, like, how do you even get started? Because we didn't really say much as we got going.
Oh, yeah.
One place we can start is we could just both decide to start on the same note, or we could pick two different notes from the scale, and we'll just do this right now. It'll be really easy.
Sure,
so
sure.
We're in the key of G, and I'm going to start on a G, and why don't you just pick one note from the scale and make sure you tell everybody which one you're playing.
Sure, I'll start with D.
Okay. So... And what we're going to do is I'm going to move around the notes that I'm starting on. So I'm starting on a G, and I'm just going to get started tentatively, and I'm going to go, up to A and maybe back to G, and Kenny's going to kind of do the same thing. So this is kind of how it sounds. And in terms of how you start, it doesn't really matter you don't have to count it in or anything. You can just make a sound and get started.
Notice that at the beginning of the last video, I watch the player I'm with, so I can see when they're about to start, so I can start with them.
Yeah, so I can cue them. So we're just going to give this a try. Here we go.
Simple.
Yeah.
Just starting to place and move around. I was thinking that to mention that the pattern that I came up with on the last improvisation was a structure. It's really like two building blocks, as if I got two Lego blocks, and I'm just using those two as a pattern back and forth. What I played, for those of you who have done a little bit of piano, is the G chord, which is G and B and D. And then I played that for a while, and then I moved every note up a step to A, C, E. And that's a chord that's in the G scale family, but it just moves away, so it sounds like as if we're in a spaceship and we've traveled from planet G to the moon, to A minor moon, and then we go back, and then I would go back to the G. So I kept going back and forth, and that gives music a sense of motion, that we're traveling somewhere on a voyage or on a coach, perhaps.